What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is Dexter New Blood Season Finale. A lot of things happen in this episode. This is the episode we've been waiting for. Was it the episode that they promised us? Was it the episode that we thought that we'd get for this finale? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's do this. What up to my thugs, noobs, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the best of Don Tony Teflon. If you can, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. As always, 500 is the like goal. And if this video hits that number, I will give away a Dexter t-shirt to a subscriber who leaves a comment on this video. And if by some chance we can get to 60,000 subscribers, I will give away an Oculus Quest 2 to a subscriber who leaves a comment on this video. It can still happen, people. It's still out there, so let's try to make it happen. Now, this episode, right off the bat, we see Bishop listening to Molly's podcast. This was the podcast she was making that was inside the safe. And basically, she was saying that to investigate the disappearance of Matt. And I guess they used this to try to clear up why she actually did come here when we're talking about Molly. But she's saying that Iron Lake is not as nice as people think it is. Something else is going on. And then that's when she gets to the scene and you see Dexter there and he's talking about how nice all the people here are in Iron Lake. How everyone, that's why he chose the place, because everybody is so nice here. And that this isn't going to be the place that he can have Harrison learn the code. Number one, it's too small. They're gonna get bagged up. He'd rather be in the biggest city, and that way, you know, there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on in these small towns. Every little crime becomes a big crime because there's not a lot of crime. So he's not going to be able to learn all the stuff that he wants to teach him. And it seemed odd that this would just come out of the blue, but it did come out there, and that's where it puts us. Angela then questions Dexter about who would do this to him, saying there was an accelerant used on the roof. And then Harrison comes to Dexter's defense and says, hey, it's probably those kids who I got into the fight with. They were probably the ones who did this. And Angela's like, oh, I can't believe that you got into a fight. So after that, it seems like everything is okay. They bounce, and then Angela's going through the fire with her people, and that's when she stumbles upon the screw. Now, this is something that I said was going to happen, that she would find that screw, and once she did find that screw, it was going to be all over for Dexter. And basically, that's what happened. Because the next scene, we see them in the house, Dexter, his son, his daughter, her daughter, and then they're just having a good time. She has them run to the store. As soon as they run to the store, Angela has them go to the store. She pulls the gun right out on Dexter. As she pulls it out, she's like, I'm not playing. This ain't no sexual game. I'm pulling the gun on you. And then Logan is waiting outside. So this was all set up. And they arrest Dexter at this moment. That's when we see the clips of Dexter getting arrested right after that. And then she brings him in for questioning. She tells him about the Matt murder and how she was sent the other screws. She breaks it all down to him. She says how she knows that he got rid of the body was burning. But unfortunately for him, these screws, titanium, do not melt. And that is why he is bagged up at this time. Dexter comes up with some feasible excuses, believable that this could have been a setup in the end. He comes up with some excuses. She says, let's take a break. She goes out because she gets upset. And when she does, Logan comes in and says, hey, let's calm down. Let's take a break. She bounces. She's like, Logan's like, I want this to stick. If it's going to stick, I want it. But Logan's believing Jim. He still's like, I think Jim may not have done this. Maybe we're jumping the gun. When Angela leaves, Logan lets Harrison see him. Dexter hugs him. He says, listen, I've been in worse situations than this. Don't worry, I'll get out of it. It's not going to take long. I'm going to get out of here. So while that's all going on, Angela has a conversation with her daughter. She tries to say, listen, this guy's crazy. He could be, dangerous. And her daughter ain't really buying it. So then she goes and she has the phone call with Angel Batista. And he sits there on the phone after they're talking. He says that, oh, my ex-wife, my ex-boss, LaGuardia, he's talking about, thought that Dexter Morgan was the person. She sends him a picture of Dexter. He's like, when was this taken? She's like, a little bit ago. He's like, oh my God. he's alive. I can't believe Dexter Morgan's alive. I'm on my way up there. And he has the file. The file is sitting right there, right next to him. He just reaches down and that file is there. And he's like, I'll be there. As soon as I can be, I'll be there. I'm flying right out. I'm coming there. So she goes back in there to interrogate Dexter again, armed with this information saying, listen, you may get away with this one, but you're not going to get away with the Bay Harbor Butcher stuff. And she breaks down exactly why she feels he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, because of the puncture wounds from the needle marks in these people's necks compared to the puncture wounds inside of the Bay Harbor Butcher's victims, and the fact that they both used ketamine. That's her facts, and because of these facts, you're gonna go down as the Bay Harbor Butcher. So Dexter tells her to turn the camera off. She agrees to turn the camera off. I don't know why she agrees to do it, but she does. And then he tells her all about Kurt and all about the girls, and this is where you need to go if you want to see true evil. Angela then storms out to go find Kurt's bunker. So while in the cell, Dexter's like, oh my God, he starts to basically crack under the pressure. And he has Logan come get him some water. He reaches over, grabs Logan by the neck from behind. Logan tries to get to his gun. He smashes his head into the bars, and then he chokes him. Not only did he choke him, he snaps his neck and kills Logan on the spot. He then reaches down, grabs the keys, and escapes. Now, Harrison makes a phone call to Logan to check in on him, but Jim answers the phone and says, hey, I have to meet you. You know, we met right by the White Deer. Meet me right up over there. Harrison's like, all right. He's like, we got to get out of here. I'll explain everything to you later. Angela finds Kurt's secret bunker. She goes down in there and discovers all the girls' bodies, all of them taxidermied up. She then sees Molly Park at the end. She's all freaked out. She runs upstairs. She grabs a radio, tries to call Logan. There's no answer. Then she finally gets a hold of someone. She's like, I need all the state police, everything that you could find. Send them to me. Send them as fast as you can. Then she says, hey, where's Logan? He says that he was left with Jim. When she says this, she's like, oh my God. She jumps in her car and drives to the station. As soon as she gets to the station, she finds Logan laying there dead. She's all devastated about this. Then we switch to Jim and Harrison. Harrison notices the blood on him, and eventually he figures it out that it's Logan's blood. He's like, did you kill Coach? Dexter's like, yes, I had to. He left me no choice. And I guess this is the tipping point for Harrison, because he's like, I don't want to go with you. Oh, you need to turn yourself in. I don't want to leave here. This feels like my home. I don't want to go. And Dexter's like, well, I have to go. If you don't want to be with me, I have to go. Then Harrison's like, well, would all these people be alive if it wasn't for you? Would my mother be alive? Would Deb be alive? Would Harry be alive? Would all these people? And Dexter gets a flashback of all these people's faces, Dokes and everybody else. And then he's like, you're right. You know, you got to do what you have to do. Take the safety off the gun like I taught you. He stands there. He goes, this is the only way. Harrison pulls the trigger. He shoots Dexter with the gun. He got him. Dexter falls down. He dies. At that time, then Bishop shows up at this spot. She pulls out her gun. Harrison drops him. He explains to him everything that happened. She goes, yes, that's cool. All right, I understand. She wipes the gun off. Does that a little bit later, but she wipes the gun off. She reaches in her pocket. She grabs some money. She's a cop. I can't imagine how much money she would have on her. Maybe a couple of, the most is a couple of $100, but I would say looks like a couple of 20s in there. Gives him the money, says, get in the truck, drive away, never come back here ever again. Basically, that is how it ends with Harrison driving away in this pickup truck. So let me give you my true feelings about this episode, and I'm not going to water it down for you. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. After all the great episodes we got this season, I think without a shadow of a doubt, this is the weakest one. When we deal with how Dexter went out, how Dexter dies, I know people may want to say, oh, he only wanted to accept the fact that He should die, and he only wanted to die by his son's hand. And Harrison all of a sudden, got really ballsy. It just seems out of place for him, the way he acted to treat Dexter. And Dexter was like, I can stop killing, I just need your help. And he's like, I'm not here to help you. Hey, I'm not here to do that. Like, Harrison just seemed so strung out. You know what I mean? I think it was just like this girl strung him out. Like, I ain't trying to leave this. You want me to give up this girl? I feel like I belong here. I feel like this is my home. It's like, dude, you just got there 2 weeks ago. Like, he just seems so strung out. Like, yo, he's willing to drop everything just so he could be with this chick. That's what it seemed like. That's the way it came across to me. When dealing with Angela, I told you I have many videos. Go back and take a look. I told you that she was going to figure out this Bay Harbor Butcher stuff because of the puncture wounds in the neck. I told you exactly when that happened on that episode. But to actually say she wasn't able to solve a case that lasted over 20 years of missing girls, and she still didn't solve it. She needed Dexter's help to get the final pieces for Kurt, but she's able to solve the Bay Harbor Butcher case in a matter of weeks. It seems a little far-fetched to me. The way Dexter reacted to Batista coming up there, to me, again, felt a little far-fetched. I don't know why he would freak out. The evidence that they presented to him was circumstantial at best. They didn't have any physical evidence directly connecting him to the Bay Harbor Butcher from what we were shown. Now, maybe they had it and it was in that file. But if it wasn't in that file, there was nothing really in there that we were presented in this episode to me to make him flip out to the point where all of a sudden he's got to snap Logan's neck. It just seemed like he was really too desperate at this time for no good reason. Even though if you go back and you look at all my prediction videos, Final Twist Dexter, Harrison Final Twist, Angela Bishop Final Twist, and the trailer breakdown for this episode, I specifically said that Harrison would kill him with the rifle. That I knew that was most likely the way it was gonna go down. It just wasn't satisfying enough for me. In all honesty, the billionaire, what was his purpose? I don't know why they even had him in the show. It didn't really make sense for that. There were a couple of plot holes I didn't agree with. And again, I'm going to say this, and I'm just not because I made it, but the theory I came up with, I think was a better ending than this ending. Not that this wasn't a good show, but I just didn't like the ending. But you tell me how you feel in the comment section, and you'll also have me a chance to tell me how you feel when we go live, LMR and I, and we discuss this whole episode, and we want you to chime in. So make sure you are there, make sure you are subscribed so you could chime in and tell us how you felt about this episode. And I will be giving away because we hit the threshold for the 500 likes in the last 2 videos, 2 Dexter t-shirts and possibly more stuff during that live stream. I will announce the winners during that live stream that I've already won, and we'll give away something else. Listen, it's not over. I think we're gonna get a season 2 with Harrison. I think that announcement is gonna come on Monday, so we're gonna be going over and doing a lot of Dexter content on this channel. So make sure you are subscribed and you have that bell clicked so you can be notified every time we drop a new video and go live on Dexter. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.